Alright, so hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today I want to talk a little bit about a Boar Riven that I've been having a lot of fun with. Now, this Riven was given to me as a gift by Mr. Gordy Toast, so thank you once again, my good man, you are awesome, and it is quite spicy. It adds a ton of Multishot, a lot of reload speed, but the downside here is that it reduces the damage done to the corpus. I'm a big fan of the Boar series of shotguns, specifically the Prime variant. It's just awesome, it's a ton of fun to play with, and it's decently strong as well, and I still remember being super excited when it first came out. It was basically my most used primary for a couple of months when I finally got it. So I was understandably very excited to try this Riven out. Now, it only took one format to fit the Riven in, which is awesome, and it was a massive damage upgrade because I replaced Seeking Fury with it. So the current setup I have is Prime Point Blank for damage, Hell's Chamber for Multishot, then Boar Fevacan, which is the Riven, for 200% Multishot, a ton of reload speed, which is extremely nice because the reload speed on the Boar Prime isn't the best, but it does reduce the damage done to corpus, which is not that big of a deal. Then, most of the time, I'm running Shell Shock and Toxic Barrage for corrosive damage and status chance, which is followed by Frigid Blast and Scattering Inferno for blast damage and status chance, and the final mod I have is Blaze for some generic damage scaling and also heat damage. However, I'm probably going to switch this one for Shotgun Ammo Mutation to get some more ammo so I don't have to run Carrier all the time. Now, the reason I run Corrosive and Blast most of the time is because it's very strong versus the Grenier, and Grenier are generally the biggest bullet sponges. Unless, of course, you have a weapon like this that has 100% status chance, corrosive, and fires like 25-ish pellets per shot. I also really like the crowd control from Blast because not only is it super funny to just see enemies rolling on the floor, but it's also extremely reliable because you're pretty much guaranteed to proc it with each shot. The downside of this particular elemental setup is that while it's amazing versus the Grenier because it strips armor super fast, it doesn't do an awful lot beyond just, crowd controlling the enemies to the Infested and the Corpus. The damage difference here is actually quite noticeable, especially when it comes to the Corpus, since the Riven reduces the damage you do to them by 30%. However, Corrosive and Blast isn't the only setup you can run. You can also run Radiation and Viro by just rearranging the duo stat mods, and this is significantly weaker versus the Grenier, and not just Ferrite Armored Grenier like these heavy gunners, also Alloyed Armored Grenier like Bombards and Napalms, which are weak to radiation, but it's a little bit more effective versus the Infested, especially the higher tier ones like Ancients, Boilers, and stuff like that, because instead of just crowd controlling them, you are actually cutting their health in half with Viro. And it is much more effective versus the Corpus, because once again, instead of just crowd controlling them, you're actually cutting their health in half with Viro. And that leaves us with Magnetic and Gas, which is terrible for a setup like this, because you can't really take advantage of the headshot multiplier because of the spread of the shotgun, you don't have crit multiplier because the crit chance here isn't that great, and you're also splitting your damage into pellets, so the resulting toxin procs you get from the gas scouts are very weak. It doesn't even work for the Corpus that well because of the Riven that reduces the damage you do to Corpus by 30%. Though it does look pretty damn cool thanks to the new particle systems. So all in all, even though it's not the most damaging thing in the world, I'm extremely satisfied with how this turned out. It's just awesome. I love Rivens like this because they're not just big dig DPS, Multishot is a little bit more interesting, especially on a shotgun, because you just get so many more pellets, it's ridiculous. And in this case, it also removes one of the things that I didn't necessarily love about the Boar Prime, which was the somewhat long reload. So while it's highly unlikely that you will get the same Riven that I have here, it should go without saying that if you get yourself a Boar Riven, you shouldn't toss it out, just give it a couple of rolls and you might end up with something really good. And that is pretty much it, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!